What about eggs? Do you know, I leave that up to the person. Some people have come to me and said, Barbara, we've got the healthiest chooks. We give them organic grain. We love our eggs. I say, eat eggs. I leave it to the person. Michael and I hardly ever eat an egg. In fact, someone gave us a dozen organic eggs and they just sat in the fridge for 6 months because we're not that keen. So it's something that I leave up to the person. But sometimes we have people come to our health retreat. We'll have a guy, I was going to say bloke, you don't call him bloke, a man. He's a bachelor, and when I say to him, organic eggs, he's greatly relieved because that's easy. So I really leave it up to the person.
Do you love eggs for a quick, healthy meal? Eggs are one of the easiest, most affordable protein sources you can buy. They are packed with complete protein, B vitamins and minerals like selenium. If you are above 50, eggs are even more important for preserving muscle mass and bone strength. A recent study shows that people who eat eggs regularly have stronger immune response and steadier energy levels. They support brain function, healthy vision, and balanced blood sugar. But what if I tell you that simple mistakes in cooking, storage, or preparation can cut these benefits or even pose health risks? Yes, some common errors can lead to nutrient loss, bacterial growth, or the formation of unwanted compounds. So what are those mistakes, and how do you avoid them? Keep watching as we walk through the top 8 egg errors and show you exactly how to fix each one. Before we begin, take a moment to comment below and let us know where you're watching from. Also, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Let's jump into it. Number 1, eating raw or undercooked eggs. Eating eggs that are raw or only lightly cooked carries 2 main issues: a risk of bacterial infection and reduced nutrient availability. Salmonella bacteria can be present on eggshells or inside the egg. Even a small number of cells can multiply rapidly in the intestine once ingested. For a healthy adult, symptoms might include stomach cramps, fever, diarrhea, and vomiting, often resolving in a few days. In people over 65, however, the same infection can lead to severe dehydration, low blood pressure, or even blood infections, because the aging process tends to weaken immune response and reduce fluid reserves. In tests of retail eggs, scientists have detected salmonella in roughly 1 in 20,000 samples. While that rate seems low, consuming raw or undercooked eggs frequently, such as in homemade mayonnaise, salad dressings, uncooked cake batter, or soft-boiled eggs, raises the chance of encountering contaminated eggs. Shell appearance offers no guarantee of safety. Bacteria can hide in microscopic pores or cling to the shell after washing. Refrigeration slows bacterial growth but cannot kill existing cells. Once you crack an egg, you remove that barrier. Raw egg whites also contain a protein called avidin. Its job in nature is to defend eggs against microbes, but when eaten, avidin binds to biotin, vitamin B7, in the gut and prevents its absorption. Biotin supports energy production, skin health, and hair strength. Lab studies show that regular consumption of several raw egg whites a day can lead to biotin deficiency within weeks. Symptoms include fatigue, rashes, and hair loss. Cooking the white unfolds the avidin protein, rendering it unable to trap biotin. Cooking eggs also makes their protein easier to digest. In one controlled study, participants absorbed about 91% of the protein from cooked eggs, but only around 50% from raw eggs. That difference means nearly half of the protein in raw eggs may pass through your digestive tract unused. For older adults who need protein to maintain muscle mass and support immune function, cooking eggs fully is a straightforward way to boost intake. Number 2, improper storage of cooked eggs. Once eggs leave the pan, grill, or water bath, they become just as vulnerable to bacterial growth as other cooked proteins. When cooked eggs sit at room temperature, in what food safety guidelines call the danger zone, between 40 degrees F and 140 degrees F, 4 degrees C to 60 degrees, Bacteria such as Salmonella and E. coli can double in number roughly every 20 minutes. A plate of scrambled eggs left out for 2 hours may look fine, but can harbour millions more bacteria than when freshly cooked. Older adults face higher risk if they consume contaminated eggs. As we age, our stomach acid production often declines, allowing more bacteria to survive passage through the digestive tract. Infection symptoms such as diarrhea, vomiting, fever, and dehydration are slower to resolve and more likely to require medical treatment or hospital stays. Even mild dehydration places extra strain on the kidneys and heart, increasing the risk of complications. To avoid this, move any cooked egg dish into the fridge within 2 hours of cooking. On a hot day, say above 90 degrees, 32 degrees, that window shrinks to 1 hour. Use clean, airtight containers to store portions. Hard-boiled eggs in their shells can stay fresh for up to 7 days if kept refrigerated at or below 40 degrees, say 4 degrees. Once peeled, they should be eaten within 2 days. Scrambled eggs, omelettes, or fried eggs without shells should be consumed within 3 to 4 days. Rapid cooling also slows bacterial growth. After cooking, set the container in an ice bath or divide a large batch into smaller, shallow dishes. Cold air circulates more effectively around thin layers, bringing down the temperature faster. When transporting egg dishes, say in a packed lunch, use an insulated bag with ice packs. Keeping foods below 40 degrees until serving dramatically reduces bacterial activity. Number 3, overcooking eggs. High heat can change egg nutrients and create compounds that may have negative effects over time. When eggs are cooked far beyond the point of firmness, whether boiled, fried, or scrambled, the iron in the yolk can combine with sulfur in the white to form iron sulfide, producing a grey-green ring around hard-boiled yolks. Though the ring itself is harmless, it signals that oxidation has taken place and valuable nutrients have already been damaged. Egg yolks contain cholesterol, fats, and delicate vitamins. Under intense heat, cholesterol molecules can oxidize. Lab research indicates oxidized cholesterol can trigger inflammation in blood vessels. Chronic inflammation is a risk factor for heart disease and circulation problems. Though one overcooked egg will not cause disease, regular consumption of oxidized lipids may contribute to low-level inflammation common in older adults. Vitamins B12, folate, lutein, and zeaxanthin are particularly sensitive. Lutein and zeaxanthin are antioxidants that support eye health by filtering harmful blue light. Vitamin B12 helps nerve function and carries oxygen through the blood. Folate supports DNA repair and cell division. In tests, prolonged exposure to temperatures above 200 degrees, 93 degrees, destroyed up to 40% of these nutrients in eggs. Overcooked whites also lose protein quality. Proteins normally unfold under moderate heat, making them easy for digestive enzymes to break down. At very high temperatures, proteins can form crosslinks that slow digestion. Studies have measured a 15% drop in protein digestibility when eggs are cooked until rubbery. To preserve nutrition, aim for the gentlest cooking methods that still reach safe temperatures. For hard-boiled eggs, bring water to a gentle simmer, tiny bubbles, not a rolling boil. Then maintain that level for exactly 9 minutes before plunging the eggs into ice water. The ice bath stops cooking at the right point, leaving yolks set but not dry. For fried or scrambled eggs, preheat the pan over medium heat. Use butter or a stable oil and remove eggs as soon as the white is fully opaque and the yolk begins to thicken. If you like a soft yolk, cover the pan briefly with a lid to trap steam rather than boost heat further. Poaching is another low-heat method. Maintain simmering water at about 160 degrees Fa. Stir once to center the egg white, then cook for 3 to 4 minutes. Number 4, reheating eggs incorrectly. Reheating leftover eggs may seem simple, but common shortcuts often lead to poor texture, nutrient loss, and lingering bacteria. Microwaving scrambled eggs or omelettes on high power can cause rapid water vapor formation inside the egg mass. Small pockets of steam expand and rupture cell walls, turning a fluffy scramble into a rubbery, dry mass. If parts of the dish never reach the safe zone of 165 degF, 74 degrees, bacteria can survive, risking foodborne illness. Rapid heating also stresses delicate lipids in the yolk. Each cycle of intense microwave energy increases oxidation of unsaturated fats and can break down lutein and zeaxanthin more than a slow, steady heat. Nutrients lost in reheated eggs rarely recover, so maintaining gentle, even heating is important. To reheat eggs safely, use a pan over low heat. Add a tablespoon of water, milk or broth per serving to restore moisture. Cover the pan to trap steam and distribute heat evenly. Stir occasionally until eggs reach a steady 165 degrees at the center, enough to kill any remaining bacteria without overcooking. The total process takes 2 to 4 minutes, depending on portion size. If a microwave is your only option, take steps to improve safety and texture. Spread eggs in a shallow, microwave-safe dish. Cover with a vented lid or microwave-safe wrap. Heat in short bursts of 20 to 30 seconds on medium power, stirring between intervals. Use a quick read thermometer to confirm an even 165 degF, 74 degrees C throughout. This method takes longer than full power blasts but yields better texture and safety. Reheated eggs should never sit at room temperature. Enjoy them immediately or return them to refrigeration within 2 hours. Any leftovers should be discarded after 1 reheating cycle and within 4 days of the original cooking date. Number 5, choosing harmful cooking oils. The fat you use for cooking eggs affects taste, aroma, and health. Many cooks reach for inexpensive vegetable blends, soybean, canola, or corn oil, because they tolerate high heat and cost little. But these highly processed oils contain unstable fats that oxidize at typical frying temperatures, 350 to 400 degrees, 175, 205 degrees C, forming lipid peroxides and free radicals. In lab experiments, these compounds have damaged cell membranes and increased markers of inflammation. Chronic exposure to oxidized fats is linked to higher levels of systemic inflammation, a factor in heart disease, insulin resistance, and age-related memory decline. Refined seed oils often carry small amounts of trans fats created during industrial processing. Even low levels of trans fats, when consumed regularly, lower HDL, good, cholesterol, and raise LDL, bad, cholesterol in controlled feeding trials. Over months or years, these shifts in blood lipids add up, increasing cardiovascular risk. Better choices for frying eggs include monounsaturated rich oils, such as extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. These oils resist oxidation up to about 375 deg, 190 deg, and contain natural antioxidants, polyphenols, that help protect fats from breakdown. Butter and ghee also fare well at medium frying temperatures. Although they contain saturated fat, they do not form harmful free radicals under normal egg cooking conditions and add flavor without unstable polyunsaturated fats. To minimize fat damage, heat oil or butter just until it shimmers, but before it smokes. Smoke indicates the oil's breakdown point and the start of oxidation. If you cook often, use an infrared thermometer to monitor pan surface temperature. Aim for 325 to 350 degF. No thermometer, test by dropping a tiny piece of egg white into the fat. If it sizzles gently rather than sputtering and smoking, you're within the safe range. Number 6, using old or damaged eggs. Egg freshness matters for both safety and quality. Over time, air naturally seeps through the porous shell, creating a larger air pocket inside. That process causes older eggs to float when placed in water. Fresh eggs sink and lie flat on the bottom, eggs reaching the end of their prime tilt upward at one end. Eggs that float should be discarded. The floating result signals internal pH changes, thinning of the white, and loss of carbon dioxide. all markers of declining quality. Cracks in the shell pose an even more serious risk. Tiny hairline fractures, invisible at a glance, can harbor bacteria that enter and multiply inside. Even if an egg looks unblemished in its carton, rough handling in transport or at the store can damage shells. Once cooked, broken shell eggs still carry that risk if they cracked before cooking. Bacteria may have entered, survived cooking, and remained in the interior. Expiration dates on cartons provide a general guideline but are not guarantees. USDA guidelines allow eggs to be sold up to 4 to 5 weeks after packing. If the carton lists a sell-by date, treat that as a reminder to use the eggs within 3 to 4 weeks of purchase. If a carton shows a stamped expiration or best by date, aim to cook or freeze eggs before that date. To test freshness, use the float test in clean, cold water. Never rely solely on the date label. If an egg sinks flat, crack it into a separate bowl before use. Look for cloudy or discolored whites, runny or unusual yolks, or off odors. Any hint of sulfur smell or slimy texture means you should toss it. Proper storage also slows quality loss. Refrigerate eggs at or below 40 degF, 4 degrees, ideally in the main body of the fridge rather than the door, where temperature fluctuates more. Keep eggs in their original carton to guard against moisture loss and odor absorption from other foods. If you purchase more eggs than you can use in a week, consider separating yolks and whites and freezing them. Egg whites freeze well on their own. Yolks need a pinch of salt or sugar to prevent them from becoming gelatinous when thawed. By checking each egg for cracks, testing freshness with the water method, and storing properly, you reduce the chance of foodborne illness. Fresh eggs also taste better, fry into rounder shapes, and yield more consistent results in recipes. Number 7, cross-contamination during preparation. Handling raw eggs without proper hygiene can spread bacteria from shell to hands, utensils, countertops, and other foods. Salmonella and other pathogens cling to shells even after washing. Once you touch a cracked or raw shell, those microbes transfer to your fingers. If you then handle salad greens, bread, or cooked foods without washing your hands thoroughly, you risk turning safe ingredients into a source of infection. To avoid cross-contamination, always wash your hands with soap and warm water immediately after cracking eggs. Scrub for at least 20 seconds, paying attention to the backs of your hands and under your nails. Clean any utensils, bowls, or cutting boards that touched raw eggs with hot soapy water. If you work with porous surfaces, wooden cutting boards or counters, follow up with a food-safe disinfectant or a dilute bleach solution, 1 tablespoon bleach per gallon of water, then rinse and dry. Never reuse the same plate or knife for cooked eggs that held raw shells. If you move cooked eggs from pan to plate, pick up a clean plate. If you season eggs, use a fresh spoon or shaker rather than dipping a used utensil back into the container. That simple step keeps bacteria from re-entering your egg dish. When baking or mixing batters, use separate bowls for dry ingredients and those holding eggs. If you must combine in one bowl, add dry ingredients first, whisk thoroughly, then crack each egg into a small cup before adding it. That way, if you find an egg is bad, you avoid contaminating the entire batter. Dish towels or sponges that wipe up raw egg drips can also spread bacteria. Replace cloth towels daily or launder them in hot water. Replace sponges weekly or sanitize them by boiling or microwaving damp for 1 minute. Ensure no metal parts. By treating eggs like any other raw meat or poultry, you block the transfer of bacteria around your kitchen. That attention keeps your entire meal safe and protects everyone at the table from needless risk. Number 8, over-seasoning with salt and processed additives. Eggs alone are low in sodium. A large egg has about 70 milligrams of sodium. But many people add salt, cheese, cured meats, or packaged seasoning blends that push each serving well past recommended sodium limits. The dietary guidelines for Americans recommend under 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day, roughly 1 teaspoon of salt. A single egg sandwich with a slice of cheese, a slice of ham, and a dash of seasoning salt can easily exceed 800 milligrams of sodium. High sodium intake raises blood pressure by causing the body to retain extra fluid. Over time, that leads to strain on the arteries and heart. Studies link diets high in sodium to higher rates of stroke, heart disease, and kidney damage. Older adults often have less efficient kidney function, making it harder for their bodies to excrete excess sodium. They also tend to be more salt sensitive, meaning their blood pressure responds more dramatically to sodium changes. Processed meat toppings add more than salt. Cured ham, bacon, or sausage contain nitrates and nitrites used in curing. When heated, these compounds can form nitrosamines, which experimental studies have shown can damage DNA in cells and increase cancer risk. While enjoying cured meats occasionally is fine, regular or heavy use on egg dishes increases long-term health risk. Cheese adds saturated fat along with sodium. A single ounce of cheddar can contain 200 milligrams of sodium plus 6 grams of saturated fat. Saturated fat can raise LDL cholesterol in the blood. Over time, that contributes to artery buildup and heart disease. Nutrition research finds that replacing saturated fat with unsaturated fat, such as the monounsaturated fat in olive oil, improves cholesterol levels and lowers heart risk. To season eggs in a healthier way, use fresh herbs like chives, parsley, dill, or basil. Citrus zest adds bright flavor without salt. Spices such as paprika, cumin, or black pepper create depth without sodium. If you crave umami, try a light sprinkle of nutritional yeast. It has savory notes and B vitamins, but low sodium. For a smoky flavor, toast a few slivers of chopped red bell pepper under the broiler instead of using bacon bits. For salt lovers, switch to sea salt or kosher salt and measure carefully. A pinch of salt goes a long way when combined with other flavor layers. Taste before adding more. By cutting back on processed additives, you let the natural flavor and nutrition of eggs shine while protecting your heart, kidneys, and overall health. Thanks for sticking around. Which of these egg tips will you try first? Share your choice in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next cooking guides. See you next time, and happy cooking.